All right. So
All right, everybody. Well, hey, I am excited to have our next guest here. He's all rocking and raring to go. If you don't know this guy, you might want to strap in, grab a pen and paper, take some notes, because this guy provides something that I believe should be taught to all of us, all our kids, our grandkids, and our grandkids that we don't even know about yet, because he is the Messiah. And we're not here to talk about credit repair. He's how to create fundable profile. That's why he's the head of Get Fundable, the author of the new F word, and the dynamic host of the Get Fundable podcast, the one, the only Mr. Merrill Chandler. How's it going today?
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. It's funny. Please, we don't want to make any mistakes when he says the Messiah of funding approvals. It is Good Friday, so we just want to keep our lines, separated.
GF, Good Friday, man.
This is this is good GF, Good Friday. Get Fundable, gluten-free, all apply. So everybody, welcome. I'm going to share my screen now. Have I been given permission, Pin?
You've got my permission there, Sunshine.
All right, very good. So let's go to, we're gonna share our screen, and let's go to the presentation as we know it.
There you go.
Okay, so can you guys see the Zoom webinar chat there on the screen?
Nope. All we see is the millionaires are made in time of crisis. Well,
all right.
You just moved it, whatever you just did.
Yeah, so there we go. Now we're set. Okay, guys. First of all, it's an honor to be here. Over the last few days, I've had the opportunity of actually meeting, spending time with folks I already know, but meeting some people that were going to be part of this Peace and Pivot Summit, and never had an opportunity to meet them before. But we got to interview each other and talk about and share kind of where we're coming from and what are our gifts, what do we have to offer this part of the summit, the peace especially side. And I'm telling you, it was wonderful to get to know you guys, the fellow presenters and everyone. And thank you organizers for coming up with the idea and putting it together. There's so much great stuff to come tomorrow. I am going to be here for the cocktail hour with my glass of wine all ready to go. So hopefully you guys are everybody's going to join us. Now, the thing that I want to talk about is, this is really important. Scott says that everybody needs to know this because the entire financial universe is built on what we're going to be talking about. And I believe these things are critical. Every entrepreneur needs, and that's who we are. The entrepreneurs are the lifeblood of movement, right? Even Apple started out, Wozniak and Steve Jobs were entrepreneurs at first before they became the largest and most valuable company in the universe. So here today, we're going to be talking about the 3 secrets that you need to know. Every entrepreneur needs to know to thrive and grow in every market, not just this one, every market, and learn how not to get trapped in that death spiral of not just negative beliefs, but actually negative behaviors that are going to be triggering your lenders, going to be triggering your creditors, and they're going to either shut you down or they're not going to lend to you in the future. And that's what we want to learn about today, is how to protect yourselves. Now, that would be massively helpful, right? Would this be a good thing? All right. So every one of you is an entrepreneur. You're the lifeblood, not just of your own business and in your community, but you're also there. We've all gathered here together to create this feeling of let's support more and more people. Let's support how we can get the skills necessary to have peace in body, mind, and spirit, as well as how do we protect ourselves and how do we create peace financially. And that's what we're talking about here today. So the reason why I'm here today is because I know every single one of you. If I can just help one of you fast track to make the right steps, take the right steps in order to protect what you have, or give you a parachute for a soft landing if contraction is required in your life, and the worst predictions come true. I want you to be able to have a soft landing. And if I can do that for even one of you during and after this crisis, then that is how we're going to change the world together. That's how we're going to, and that's what I'm about today. All right. So first things first, we are facing, everybody calls them uncertain times, unprecedented times. It's true. We've never walked this part of the path. I don't know the great philosopher who called it the pathless country. We are in unknown terrain, right? And some of us may have maps. You've been hearing about different maps to walk this path right now. Some people don't have maps to this terrain. And people have asked me if I think that entrepreneurs and real estate investors and all the individuals who are of that, small businessman and woman ilk, are we going to make it through? How do we make it through? Now, I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. And what I mean by realist is that 2 + 2 is 4. In this universe, it's always 4. So I'm a realist when it comes to knowing that if you do the right things, you will have positive or negative benefits as a result of that. So now more than ever, we need objective guidance to growth. We need to know the truth. Only the truth is actionable, and we want to be able to grow from here to our next level for focused growth forward, right? So there are, throughout history, there are countless stories of people who have battled through life, shattering the adversity, right? Coming from behind, the dark horse, rags to riches stories. Some of you even have experienced for yourself rags to riches stories. You know that these stories inspire humanity. But for us, these stories stoke our entrepreneurial spirit. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of people that have a before and after where they came from hard times and they always found a way to come on top, just like you have found a way to come on top. In 2008, our country went through a devastating time like no other with the foreclosure crisis. And some of you, many of you, maybe even most of you, are now in a better position than then. The question is how long did it take you to be in a better position than coming out of the foreclosure crisis? Did it take 6 months or a year, 5 years, 10 years before you recuperated from the Great Recession? All of us survived, and we're stronger and more resilient because of it, but we are in unprecedented times. So now it's time to level up. So I ask you, can we find success? Can you have success in a time of crisis? You've been hearing all day that people are saying that it's about opportunity. Michelle Young earlier was literally saying, when you lose your structure, you need to find your structure, or reestablish structure. This is the pathless country for most of our clients, most of our friends and our families. So the answer is invariably yes, we can have success. You can have success, but there are things that you need to know to be successful. So my goal for you, I'm committed in even before this tidal wave that's approaching us, I am committed to helping every single entrepreneur get what they need to thrive, to know how to protect their business and know how to recover from a worst case scenario. I hope that we're all able to thrive, but just in case, I want to give you the tools necessary to do all three. So by the end of my hour, my job, my goal, my commitment to you is to show you individually that you have a clear path for you to come out of this crisis better than you entered it. If it's 10 times better or 2 times better, there is a clear path. So for those of you who don't know me, Scott introduced me. My name is Merrill Chandler. I'm a high-performance fundability coach and a business funding expert. And my mad obsession, my magnificent obsession, is helping entrepreneurs across the United States. Nothing. I just asked Scott and Julia, anybody who knows me, this is what gets me amped. But in the last financial crisis, I'd been doing this for a long time, but I didn't know everything that I know now. And I did a lot of things right. And now as the markets tightened up, our clients are still getting loan approvals and automatic increases on their credit lines. Every day, my team reports the activities of our clients and our students, and our clients who have done what I'm showing you today. Our clients who have implemented these strategies are literally increasing their credit limits and getting new credit lines and loans. These are because, as we'll learn very shortly, lenders only make money when they lend. So let's get to it. I've done some things right, and as a result of my flying fast and loose personality, I also did some things wrong. Hell, I made some personal financial decisions that I'm now spending the rest of my life telling my clients not to do. I was my own cautionary tale, because everything that we put money in back there in the ramp up, right? 2005, 6, 7, it made us more money. And as a result, I got careless and learned some of the very things I'm going to share with you from my own experience. There's a whole lot of different people say it a lot of different ways, right? Flying fast and loose almost always turns out bad. The grasshopper over the ant, if we're going to go back to the old the fables. But just know this: everything I experienced happened for a reason. I'm the guy who takes the lesson, and it's not a tragedy, it's not a mistake, it's not an injury if you learn from it. Because my experiences and the things that I've learned has put us on a rocket sled to start and create momentum in this Get Fundable movement. I've had a chance to work with hundreds of entrepreneurs, and no one is teaching what we do, not a one. And so it's still kind of on the new side. But coming out of this, more and more people are starting to catch the drift, right? They're starting to understand that, hold it, this is a thing. You can be fundable in a recession. Yes, it's working for me and me and me. So it's my goal to get everybody to understand that there's a formula, that there's a key for all of us coming out and thriving out of this crisis. So now, while this isn't 2008, there's no matter what, we have to be smarter now than then, because it very well, if worst case scenario occurs, it very well may be far more have a stronger impact, positively or negatively, depending on how we're situated to do it. So we have to build something that's strong enough in our financial world. We have to build something that's strong enough to withstand any market change. Doesn't matter if it's going up and it's prosperous or going down and contracting. We have to have something strong enough that withstand that is a rock, and it's solid regardless of the winds that are blowing around us. This something is a renewable resource. What if you had a financial instruments that allowed you to be a rock in the storm that you can use like money over and over and over again? That's what we're talking about today. So give me a thumbs up here. I don't know where my panelists buttons are, but just are you with me? Do you understand where we're coming from? All right.
We're here.
All right. Let's so there we go. Joe. Yeah. So in your all panelists and attendees, just fire away in there. Tell me, give me a thumbs up or a yes, because this is a this is a participatory sport. All right. So getting through the thank you, Nathaniel, Scott, Joseph, etc. Laura, thank you. I'm going to blow your mind. So in this process, coming out of 2008, and a number of things I'll share with you in a moment, we discovered the key to unlock the secret to business funding. Now, when I say business funding, I'm not talking corporate credit with Fortune 500. I'm talking entrepreneurs, small business owners, real estate investors, and note buyers, individuals who have the ability to acquire tier 1 financial instruments, credit lines, and loans for their businesses, even during this crisis right now, this crisis. Now, of course, please understand, after over 25 years of doing this business, you guys, we've tried a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but I found a very compact handful of simple and easy ways that work every single time. And since I've discovered this the hard way, how would you guys like the easy way? You guys down to at least, hey Kurt, welcome. You guys ready to at least try some things on for size and see how easy it is? All right, very good. Now, most entrepreneurs, so over the last 25 years, I've learned that most entrepreneurs believe that a couple of things are evident or inevitable during a recession. One, you're going to have the reduction of limits or account closures. How many of you experienced that in 2008? Right? How many of you have experienced where they just 2008 came, closed accounts? Sometimes they left you upside down, even where you had $20,000 limit, you had 15 grand on your balance, and then they lowered the limit to $10,000. You were 15,000 above the limit, and your fundability and your score is getting crushed as a result. Most entrepreneurs believe they have no control. Most entrepreneurs believe that they think that it is as bad as they think it is, or that they've been led to believe by the media and the world that it is. Most entrepreneurs have been lied to about how business credit even works, and you've been manipulated or you've gotten taken and convinced into wasting money on business credit schemes that destroy your personal profile and don't even work. I'm here to debunk these limiting beliefs and these myths. So the proof is in the results. In the past 4 years, I've helped real estate investors, entrepreneurs, folks just like you, to obtain over $103 million in approvals. And these approvals are continuing to this day, this last month. These numbers continue to go up. So let me talk about the 3 secrets, right? These are the ways in which these are the strategies, the secrets that only the insiders know. And you'll understand why I say I'm insiders, because most of us don't have access to this intel. First of all, secret number 1 is only businesses who have initiated doomsday protocols will thrive during a recession. Now here's what, so that means that by implementing these doomsday protocols, you can take advantage of opportunities that others will completely miss. They can't even see them. They can't see them. The fine woman who was just before me about budgeting, you said, it doesn't matter how much money you're budgeting. It matters how that you are budgeting, that you have a plan, that you're committed to this plan. So the whole point is that you have to implement protocols in order to survive. So let's go through what those protocols are. There's things you need to know and do. So let's talk about what you need to know. First of all, you need to know your current business cash position and your disposable asset position. I say this because your most valuable asset is your financial reputation, your borrower profile, and that borrower reputation. And other than food and taking care of your health and well-being, it is the most important financial thing in your lives. And if we make the wrong moves during this time, then we are going to feel the effects of it in the future. If we do the right things right now, we're going to feel the positive effects of this. So to make any of these, implement these strategies, you need to know what your business cash is and the disposable assets that you have. What's your business burn rate? How fast are you going to burn through all of your cash reserves at your current level of expenses? Then you need to know separately your personal burn rate. How fast are you paying your bills? How fast is that going? And how much is your personal burn rate if you cut out business expenses? Now, that's what you need to know. You need to collect that data. Then you need to audit every expense. You got to determine what expenses are mission critical. Now, what do I define a mission critical? Things that are going to make you money, not things that I'll leave it at that. Only you can decide what that is, but you need to determine what expenses will propel you forward, give you momentum, not hold you back. Next, you have to cut out anything you shouldn't be spending on or that you've forgotten about. Now, how many of us have web services and softwares and online SaaS services, software, all these different things that we've completely forgot about? Audit every expense and find out what you don't need right now to move your mission forward. Cut out all luxury expenses. It's my coaching, I'll talk about in a minute. My coaching, they're talking about it's easier to sell your yacht and buy a new one later than to foreclose on a yacht and ruin your borrower profile and your financial reputation for 5 to 7 years to come. So whatever is luxury, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And then finally, this is my personal word of caution to you. Everything I'm teaching you about decisions in a time of crisis, I've learned from my coaches and my advisors. I'm a genius at fundability optimization, but I am not a genius at every other thing that impacts in growing and maintaining and moving a business forward. So I have advisors and coaches. This whole weekend, you have all these amazing experts on how, and it's going to speak 10% to us or 130% to us, depending on what our needs are. But do not, the people who panic, start thinking short term, the people who are already triggered into survival mode, many times they're going to say that that's a luxury, or that coaching that you're getting, those advisors are not necessary. And I'm telling you, look at all the things you're learning so far and look at all the things that you're going to be being able to implement because of their expertise. Do not just walk away from your coaches and your people, guys. That in my world is mission critical. So be careful, because in times of crisis are the times you need the most guidance. When do you need a guide the most? When you're walking through your backyard, or when you're actually in the pathless terrain, when you don't know where to go from here? That is when you need your guide. That's when you need your advisors. So just saying, navigating a crisis is 100 times easier with a coach or mentor helping you through this process, because they can give you, their expertise drives giving you a plan to keep moving forward. So they're going to keep you thinking about growing more and contributing more, and that's how you will make a bigger difference in your community and your business while you're here. Right now in this recession, you're no good to anybody if you close your doors and you stop serving your community. It does no one any good. So make sure that you've got your guide through this insane period that we're going through. All right. Next, let's talk about secret number 2. The right borrower profile and the right borrower behaviors actually trigger recession lending protocols. So I'll ask you this. When do lenders make money? When they lend, right? When they lend. So they don't want to stop lending. So I'm going to use a target as a metaphor. In prosperous times, when money is loose and everybody's on a heyday, like we've had for the last 8 out of the last 10 years or so, it's like the equivalent of just being able to hit a target. If your fundability, if your ability to qualify for loans and lines of credit is good, decent, if you've applied some of the principles of fundability, you may hit the target. You may get lower limits and less money, but at least you're hitting them. Problem is, you have to be in the bullseye if you're going to be qualifying and receiving and taking down loans and lines of credit during a recession. They're still lending, but they're only lending to that bullseye, maybe the first circle out. They're still lending. So the question is, would you rather get a 10,000 in prosperous times out here, or 100,000 when you're here? And it doesn't matter that whether it's a recession or a recession or a prosperous times, your bullseye will always give you the most. So having the right, so the rule of thumb is when you meet lender funding guidelines, underwriting software is designed to approve you. They will offer you lines and loans of credit, loans and lines of credit without you asking. Okay. How many of you have received, I'd like to show of hands here, how many of you received a credit card application approval in 30 seconds or less, 2 minutes or less, where you just filled out the app and it was like, yep, approved, approved, approved? Anybody? Now, how many of you, we got, yes, Joseph. So, okay, Joseph, you're the only one. So, but here's the point. How many of you have received a letter or an email from your lender where they automatically raised your limit, no income verification, no tax returns, no documentation, nothing, not even more than a soft pull, and they gave you more money for free? Anybody? Anybody? Nathaniel, yes. Yep. Joseph, yes. Chase, Joseph, absolutely. Bryant, a number. So here's the thing. This secret number 2 is you're already experiencing it, some of you, on the personal side. It's available on the business side. Automatic approvals and automatic limit increases. But you have to have the right borrower profile and the right borrower behaviors that trigger, even now in this recession, right now, these lending protocols to offer you loans and lines of credit. Now, let me tell you kind of how this works. Now, forgive me if I geek out for just a second. I know we're on the peace and we're on the peace, the heart space side of our conference today, but here's how the insiders are thinking about this. I've had the pleasure over the last 3 years to go to 3 FICO Worlds. Now, FICO is important to you because FICO makes the rules and inspires lender underwriting software to approve you. If you don't know what FICO is doing, it's not just the 3-digit credit score. FICO actually designs the software for you to get approvals. So I'm at FICO World. I'm in a class. It's called Next Recession Prepping. This was last November. Weird. I didn't know that a world health pandemic was going to cause the next recession, but here we are. And you know what they said in this? Sally Taylor gave this presentations to the CEOs, and I'm a CEO, and all of a sudden I'm in with all of these lender CEOs and all of these huge bank CEOs, and she introduced what was called the FICO Score Stress Indicator. Now, it's just gobbledygook that says, technobabble, that says that there's not just your FICO score, but there's an overlay. Think of it as a skin or a filter where the lenders know how you will do in a recession based on all the other things that you have been doing over the last 3, 6, 12, 24 months. They know and give you a score. Now look, see where it's expand credit in a financial stressful situation, both personally and nationally. This stress indicator will say, oh yeah, if they have a more robust profile and behaviors. This isn't a score. I don't care about your 800 score. I don't care about your 660 score. If your profile and behaviors are more robust, that green area expands where they give you more credit. The whole thing at FICO World was designed to help lenders know who to trust while they are know who to trust during a recession. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. FICO Recession Prepping Seminar made one thing very clear. And this is the thing that you need to know more than any other thing you need to know. The decision to approve new credit or to lower a current limit or to close an account depends exclusively on those key borrower behaviors before and during a recession. So the very things that you are doing right now to protect yourself, some of them are going to inspire you, or are going to inspire your lenders, and some of them are going to count against you. And whatever we do right now is going to affect us in the future, for positive or negative. I mean, we all know the adage that the truth of us comes out when we're under pressure, right? Who we really are comes out under pressure. Well, lenders are watching, and they're measuring it, every part of that. So, third secret, only certain types of entities are fundable, which means that when you clone a fundable entity, automatic underwriting software is designed to approve you. So if your business has any one of these red flag words and a red flag code, what's called an SIC code, you're automatically on a blacklist to get denied. And if you want more information, I just did a podcast that ended up on my Facebook page, Get Fundable Facebook page, with Tom Hazard, Tracy's partner, where we discussed how SIC codes, they were actually manipulating the SIC codes, and so that they could reject funding for even temporarily for the PPP plan and the other SBA loans. If you don't know the rules of this, so these 3 secrets, these how recession looks like you're going backwards, correct? It literally like you're going backwards, and you are while you're going backward, you're getting dynamic.
Well, I think we might have lost Merrill. He'll be back on in a second. His internet was a little shaky yesterday, so I'm sure he'll be back. There he is. I see him logging back in, and he's just logging back in.
Okay.
Hi, Merrill.
There we go. You
need to reshare your screen.
How do I sound? Am I warped? Oh, there we go. You got to reshare my screen. There. And we're going to desktop. Uno. And there we go. Okay. So share and desktop 1. All right. How's that?
I don't see it yet.
So you don't see me yet. Stop share.
All right. I don't know. It's just slow. Like your internet's slow to where everything is. We're getting patches in and out. So why don't we do this? Kill your video for your face, and let's just bring up your slides. That may help the internet.
Can you see me?
We saw your, there we go. Recession allows you to leverage your slingshot effect. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. All right, guys. So and I don't know how much it costs. So in short, what is happening right now is actually the magic wand we need that is going to give us amazing positive results in our future lender relationships for being able to get business loans and lines of credit. It is going to be everything we do now counts 5 or 10 times more important in our fundability and our relationships than what we did even 2 months ago. So that is so that's the essence of it. So pretty cool, right? You guys good? How do we feel about what's up? All right.
Good.
Very good. So, so the question for you guys then is, if you did what I'm teaching you, implement Doomsday protocols, know where you are so you can know where you're going. If you align your borrower profile and your behaviors to fit lender guidelines, and you established a highly fundable business entity, could you be successful? Anybody? Is that a thing? Do you guys think you could actually be successful through what we're trying to accomplish? All right. Now, imagine what it would be like to get, during a recession, to get 100, 200, or 300,000 or more $1,000, because the longer we're in a recession, the more money you can actually acquire. What would that do for you? What would that do for your business? I know real estate investors are a big part of my community. Note buyers, big part. Entrepreneurs, but how many of us could use a $50,000, $100,000 business line of credit to help us promote during these very times? That is the question that we're about. How would this change your life? So, how many are excited about what we're talking about? I love this picture because, first of all, I love Jack Nicholson, but I love this picture because there is nothing more raw and pure than enthusiasm. Some people, how many of us are a little overwhelmed? I know we're talking about a financial subject that we're driving results, but how many of you feel like you're a little overwhelmed with what's up? So let's, is it okay with you if I spend just a few more minutes to offer you something that I've prepared for this summit? I've offered it for real estate investors, for entrepreneurs, but especially for our Peace and Pivot Summit. What I have is that if you can, I would love for you to join me at the 2-day summit that it's 2-day boot camp that I'll be giving. And it's the Survive, Thrive, and Prosper edition. So we're literally pivoting for our boot camp, which is a 2-day boot camp. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, April 18th and 19th. It'll be streaming live, and this will be my 16th boot camp, but it will be the first of its kind when it comes to the crisis version, the Survive, Thrive, and Prosper edition. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about who this has worked for. First of all, it works for new entrepreneurs, new investors, brand new into, you've just left the W-2 game, the W-2 employee game, and you're out on your own. What do you need to know? Capital is always vital. It works for you. It works for experienced entrepreneurs and investors, folks who are veterans, who've been doing this for decades. Every one of us can use more the information to be able to learn what lenders need to lend to you. That's what the bootcamp is all about. It works for entrepreneurs with good credit and bad credit, or even people who believe they have great credit, because credit is, you'll learn, is not as important, and your score does not make you fundable. It doesn't. Your score is like the second or third most important thing that lenders look at. So what are the things that they're going to need from you to lend on? This works for entrepreneurs who already have a qualified fundable entity that has the right codes, the right type of entity, and it works for folks who may already have one. So what you'll be able to stop doing, and this is killer for so many people, is how would you like to have lenders stop reducing your limits or closing your accounts? What happens if you can stop having deals slip through your fingers? What about feeling that we've talked about uncertainty, right? And stress. What if you had no uncertainty, no stress about your relationship with your banks, because you knew exactly what they need to lend to you, to keep your accounts open, and for you to continue to have a better relationship and receive more money now and as we climb out of the recession? You can stop getting blacklisted by lenders because you're chasing money. Stop going out and getting inquiries. If you get turned down once, stop, because you're just screaming to lenders, I need money, I need it now, and I'm just going to chase it down like a gazelle in the Serengeti. You don't send that message. You'll be able to stop chasing money by understanding what's going on, and you'll get that at the boot camp. Stop paying an arm and a leg for your interest rates on hard money or private money or with your credit partners. So the first day, let me do a quick run through of what you're going to get each of these days. On the 18th, April 18th, we're going to be talking, you're going to learn the borrower behaviors that will get lenders to approve your accounts now, brand new accounts. You will get those lender accounts. And then you'll be able to establish the recession-proof fundability plan and protection plans. What do you need to do to send a message to lenders that you're okay? Even if you're under stress, if you know what you're doing, you can send a positive message to your lenders. But you've got to know what that message is, and you got to know kind of what language the lenders are speaking. We get continuous updates from FICO seminars, and we have a liaison with FICO who keeps us when we ask questions or otherwise, keeps sending us product info and new white papers inside of FICO. While that's not a big deal to you, that keeps me on the cutting edge to be able to coach my clients and my teams and my students on what is changing, what is happening. We've learned so many things. Go to the Get Fundable Facebook page and just go watch the different things that we've done, our interviews. There's so many positive and powerful things that we keep getting the first word on, including this SIC code that we talked about, those codes that were kind of manipulated here to slow down the lending of all of the SBA loans. You'll also be able to put in place fundability techniques that exist nowhere else. This is stuff that is vital, guys. It is vital. So I'm going to show you how, in that same first day, show you how to make payments on accounts that report to your lenders. Exactly what to do so that you can send a better message and not spend any more money on your payments. I'm going to show you how to use these payment moratoriums. We've all seen these payment moratoriums come up and say, oh yeah, you can suspend your payments, etc. I'm going to tell you how to do those so that lenders want to lend to you later on, right? And if you do them wrong now, they don't want to lend to you because you showed your true colors during the recession, but you didn't know what true colors to show. That's what we need to talk about in this boot camp. You're going to get all of this in the boot camp. How to avoid a run on your credit. Automatic underwriting systems will track your inquiry behavior. And there are 2 Insider Thrive strategies that are added to this boot camp that only attendees are going to get. So this is powerful stuff. So there are amazing results. Clients who are getting approvals still right now, automatic underwriting, automatic limit increases, how to actually file automatic underwriting and get approved without leaving your workstation at home. We've been teaching people how to apply for and get approvals, get significant funding approvals, 20, 50,000. We have a dozen people who are over 500,000 in single event fundings. You guys, it still works. That bullseye, lenders don't care about a recession if you're in that bullseye. They want to lend to you because they make money when you do. So that's day one. There's day one, we have other things that we'll be covering as well about a fundable identity, how to stop looking like a consumer that lenders don't lend to, by the way, and how to look like a professional borrower that they do love to lend to, how to cut your funding time in half, how to protect your golden goose. Your personal borrower profile is the golden goose, and you've been taught up until this moment, you've been taught to abuse that goose, and lenders see that overusage of your personal profile. And as an entrepreneur, it doesn't have to be this way, guys. You don't have to be killing the goose that lays the golden eggs of business lines of credit, commercial loans, real estate loans, etc. So this entire first day by itself on my website, you go there and just get the recordings. No Q&A, no interaction with me, no nothing. Q&A is $1,997. The thing is day 2, we offer so many powerful examples of what's true business credit and what are scams and misinformation. We talk about how FICO actually has the software that we can show you the strategies that trigger these business funding approvals, how to be ready so you get your 2-minute approvals. And we spend over 2 hours through the course of the boot camp establishing exactly how fundable you are right now, not your credit score, not anything else. It's how likely you are to attract lender money today and what you can do about it. All of that is in business, is in the second day. We evaluate your approval funding factors. Looks like a target, right? We'll get more into that. We evaluate your borrower profile. We evaluate, because you can have a high quality borrower profile or a low quality profile. We'll evaluate how fundable your business is and show you ways in which you can correct if you've got the wrong codes, the wrong words in your name, etc. It's all doable, and you learn it all in the boot camp. And we can estimate your timetable to your first 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200, 500,000, etc. So day 2 by itself is worth every penny of the $1,997. And this $4,000, is it worth it, guys? If $3,994 and you are able to now today to support your recession proofing, if you were able to get $100, $200, $300, $500,000, would that be worth every penny of it? Absolutely. So thanks, Scott, because we are committed to making sure that everybody gets educated now, especially in this Peace and Pivot Summit, we're offering this for $97. Now, I know this is an amazing deal, and people tell me all the time, that's too good to be true. What's the hook? What's the catch? What's going on? Because because I see how valuable it is, and I see how much good juju and how much I could learn. So why is it $97? But like I said at the beginning of our time together, my goal here in this 60 minutes was to help each one of you see a way. And in this way, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and it's a stronger, more profitable business now, today, and as we go through the rest of this recession and on into the future. So that's what I got, guys. That is that is what I have for making sure that you guys have what you need to create your fundability. And so I'm only supposed to show you the 97. There are other things with bonuses, but I wanted to give you the contact information. The $97 gets you access to the 2-day boot camp. Go to getfundablebootcamp.com right now. Invest in that time for you to establish the truth of your current situation and how you can turn that into more opportunity. And again, once again, I'm one of her fans. I'm quoting Michelle, but the opportunities exist in the time of recession. Use the slingshot to create more and more, to use this as that dark nurturing time of where you plant a seed, because you're going to be able to have that thing sprout and grow right now, and it will continue to bear fruit in the future. I believe that's my time. Any questions? We got
more time, Merrill. Hang on, buddy.
What's that?
You got another 13, 14 minutes.
Well, let's take questions. Yep. and see what I'll keep this up on the screen over here. Can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I jump in here, Merrill?
Oh, please.
You guys, I took this boot camp May of last year, and just the stuff I learned on the first day, when I went to buy a car, I knew exactly what to say. I did it no money down and 1% interest, because I knew exactly where to pull. I knew exactly what to tell them. And like literally, I'm paying like $3,000 interest on a $57,000 car. So if you know what you're doing,
Student success.
Yeah, this is the real deal.
And you guys, it's not going to change because we're in a recession. In fact, there may be even some greater, just think of the target. If you're on the bullseye, people want to lend to you because you are on the sweet spot of them being safe, giving you money. If you're out in the outer rings, that some of those rings might be okay. You're going to get lower loan amounts and lower credit limits, but being on that target, it only serves you in the prosperous times. If you're in the bullseye, you can make it happen now, just like Juliet's saying. You can make it happen now and in the future, because you're sending the message that you're a professional borrower and that they want to lend to you. So those are any other questions about how I can help, or ways in which this boot camp is going to serve you today. Save your skins. I'm telling you, there's so many things being dangled out there right now. And I'm not saying do or don't. I'm saying you do not have enough information yet to know about not paying your mortgage payment, or not paying your car payment, or not paying your student loan. I'm telling you, you need to know what the ramifications are. And you still may be able to, you still can do it, but you're going to do it in a way that notifies them that you are a conscientious borrower. You are a partner of theirs, and you're covering their back, right? You got their back as a partner, a lending partner, rather than just saying, oh, free money, or, oh, hey, they're letting me skip a payment. Oh, if you don't do it right, you're going to give yourself a black mark on their books, because the SBA right now, guys, is not giving out the money. Banks are giving out the money and being backed by the SBA. See the difference? Banks are giving out their money, and they're running you through their underwriting guidelines. And if you're stepping on funding landmines, we're just going to blow our stuff up. We're just going to blow it up. And I don't want that to happen to you. Oh, man, I can't jump up and down enough.
We got a question from Laura. She asked, if you've got an LLC that's been around for 10 years, but with one of your bad words in it, can you change the name and keep the 10-year history?
Absolutely. There's no reason to do that. There are other features of a fundable entity, but yes, Laura, you would be able to make this you'd be able to change the name, and it's not too difficult as well. Let's see. I got a
question for you, Merrill.
Keep going.
Bank of America is getting a lot of flack for only taking the new PPP applications from those that have a credit card or existing loan. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, happy to. So remember, I talked about banking relationships. Banking relationships. They want to lend because it's their money. The SBA, the feds are just backstopping their loans. All the lenders. It's not just Bank of America. Bank of America is just kind of arrogant about it. But Wells Fargo has done the same thing. It says it on Wells Fargo's website that you will be considered based on several criteria. See if you fit the criteria. One of it is, do you have a relationship with Wells Fargo, with Bank of America, the Celtic Bank, BB&T, PNC, all these banks, California Bank and Trust, all these banks want to lend to people that they trust. Are you seeing bullseye borrowing? Bullseye borrowing, guys. You've got to know that there's a difference between, in fact, I'm writing that down. That's genius. Thank you very much. Bullseye borrowing. But that's the equivalent of being a professional borrower. So yes, you're going to get more. You're going to get more for less if you have a relationship with them. Well, I'm going to show you in the boot camp how to build that relationship right now. And Well, and I don't know how much they're going to fund you on. I can't presume to know. What I can tell you is you'll get more consideration the higher, the more locked in on your on your borrower relationship with them. You will get more money, even on the PPP. You'll get more money because it's their money, and they're going to underwrite the loan, and they're going to determine how much to give you based on not just your application, but your relationship. So yeah, a brilliant question. Anybody else? Oh, we had Juliet. Thank you. This boot camp will blow your mind. Worth 100 times more. Thanks, Brian. Bullseye borrowing. I'm telling you guys, just come. In fact, I have some of you that are here are clients, students already, and you're just coming to see it's moving so fast that even my clients and students are continually watching the Facebook Lives that we do, because there's new intel coming out almost every day, and we're driving this. Yep, Joseph. Yep, I get it. So, any other questions? Anybody else? It came to see what else is new. Since you were on earlier with the on the podcast that was being produced or shared on Facebook Live, guys, go to the boot camp and make sure every one of you clients and students get back there for this boot camp, guys. I'm telling you, you gotta. And if you don't, make sure that you email bootcamp at getfundable.com, bootcamp at getfundable.com, so that you guys are on the list to receive the Zoom link for next Saturday and Sunday. That's next Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So one of the big things I think is important is those that don't know where they're at, is having that starting point. You guys pulling the homework beforehand is not difficult to do. But having a true image, like I had 25 different addresses on my profile from all the properties that I've bought and moved, and that affected me derogatorily, getting those cleaned up. You know? Yeah,
your identity. We didn't take the time to go through all it, because I don't want to be so technical, but I do want to you guys to understand that. So I'll wrap up with this, and this is probably for especially those of you who have not heard my any of my presentation, haven't seen me in presentation mode before. The greatest power transfer has occurred over the last 10 years. For 500 years, lenders have required full documentation, what I call proof docs. They've required proof documentation to verify every one of your, all your data to see whether or not they will lend to you. Over the last 10 years, these lenders have empowered software, known as automatic underwriting software, to make all these lending decisions for them. Because lenders lose money when a human being looks at your application, your loan, or anything else. They lose money. So, and there's less fraud when in this new automatic underwriting software. They're able to protect their money. So over the last 10 years, they've empowered the decision-making, the approval authority, I don't want to get technical, the approval authority to software. So if you know what behaviors they're measuring, and you know what their criteria are, who really is in charge of your funding approvals? You are. Nobody else. Nobody else. So these are the things that we're looking at, and I want to be in charge of my own funding approvals. Those funding approvals do not change for those bullseye borrowers when you're in a recession. They don't change, guys. They want to lend you money. So let's figure out how to do this together at the boot camp.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Brian on here says your financial identity is all about financial data points. That's awesome. Exactly right. And don't worry if you got some smudges or black marks on your previous history. Matter. There's ways to get around that.
Fundability. Yeah. We're changing the conversation from good score, bad score, high score, low score, or good credit, bad credit. Those are not what lenders look at. Yeah, go to at the boot camp, we discuss how it's about fundable, not fundable. And if you want take a look at you can go to getfundablebook.com, and that will I'll buy the book if you pay for shipping. If you read that book before the boot camp, you're going to be 10x everybody else sitting in those chairs. So read the book, but go to the boot camp, because the book is about the principles. The boot camp is how to implement the strategies. They're different. And so that's a huge opportunity for you guys to create to create an awareness. So getfundablebook.com, getfundablebootcamp.com, and make sure that you guys are able to join us, because I'm telling you, this is no joke, and you can literally launch your survive and thrive now, and launch your opportunities 10 times for the future. So, hey, thanks guys for sharing your time with me. This has been amazing.
Thanks for being on, Merrill, and always adding value and really having a passion for helping those out there to pivot properly. Because there is, I mean, with this downturn, there's going to be a lot of wealth transferred in one form or fashion. Might as well go in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or the money go in your pocket so you can
I learned from Michelle Young's partner, Aaron Young. He told me, and it was beautifully said, and I want to leave this with you. I'm quoting him. There are two parties at a fire sale. There's one who is selling, and there's one who is buying. You want to be on the buying side of a fire sale, not the one who's selling. So let's make sure we have the capital, the resources, the presence of mind to be on the buying side at the fire sale. You guys have an absolutely wonderful rest of your weekend. I'll be checking in all weekend or on Saturday as well. And where's my where's my wine? We got one more presentation, right? Before we start our cocktail party. Yeah. All right.
You can drink right through Dom. He'll never know.
Well, I'm all in for Dom. So let's pop that cork up there. I'm talking to my producer. Her job is to make sure my wine glass is full. So, hey, and by the way, everybody who's listening, if you don't know, but these two, thank you so much for putting this together, making this happen, and thank you for coming to my boot camp, for being believers and knowing what WTF, right, about how to make this stuff work for you. So, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Merrill.
Thanks, Merrill. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, now mute me and send me off.